Somnambulant philanthropist turned Death Eater, rancid rice with the camera and a t-shirt at the 5 minutes till you're scraped off the pot rod. This is how it feels when your family's been eaten and the cannibals are in the front yard while your dog dies. Jump hard over that backyard fence and get hog-tied by cannibals who prefer veal but aim guns at bad feng shui. Hey mum, your grandson say thanks for the chance. Daddy intermittently danced the dance. More of the not stood hand in hand across time with whoever held the doorknob last. Empty glass, bad smile, and a bad pocket full of tempting grass, and a circular mower, deadbeat homeowner who let weeds grow in the temple and curtained to purchase lower-grade paint cans, splashed the walls, crashed out, trashed, and the tempting his cruel stare in the mirror, shaving the shirt sleeves, and your only victory is that you sanitarily sneezed. After the coffee, the cake. After the coffee and cake, you stroll past my garden, waving a hand, and may I wave back. I nod, shrug out a smile. There's vodka in my milk, I think, but I can't be sure. I poured it in again another night to hear the music. And then I was the decent man I am today, or thought I was. I poured the milk into another cup, and then the bottle came and took me for a dance, and took me for a waltz, and took me on a date, and beat me pleasantly all night, until I woke and knew that a thought was a perfect match. The vodka really hurts today, but I still got it in the batch. I think I hear the music coming back, thrown to the side, hung again. When will you be worn? The weather is colder for jackets and coats and sweaters and all hoods aside. Appropriately, you're useless, but winter transcends into spring, and there in the chill, when it isn't quite warm, there in the night, when it isn't so dry, when the gloves are all hidden and breezes run through, and the moon is as round as a pie, there is the time for the sweater, there is the time and by whom, when words are as loud as the silence and laughter can learn to converse, when cotton whites don't always shrink in the wash, and simply the purse should be hers instead of it hanging, instead of it dead, left in the room of a bitter romantic already slain under the soil, tapping his pen on the wood you haven't yet touched, and he shovels the puzzle to dig it again. Spades stop the foot of the graves in a row. On some the grass has begun to grow, sliding the cave as softly as possible into the newest and deepest of holes, wooden and built with the help of your friends at plummets and banks on the side, and cracking, landing, and splitting. The corpse is alive, and he hammers, emerges, and stands.
Sun-dried dreams lying fried in pans, thus piles arrive on time with the hands. A dance with romance, a chance to advance. My plan slams shut, and what the goddamn? Freeze the hot cans of hot nights and not right. Not with the top lock and bitten by frostbite. Sit across the kitchen, one hot pair of scissors, rip the frickin' blade into the can. What's inside? Ice. Christ, I slice back the cabinets, kick myself. Rice, twice bags of cabbage like mice fighting cats with nice animation. Life's nice but ancient. Full metal jackets at war, laying in wait for 6 days. Cassette player playing and tape, the shit same. From day in and day out, my enemies vanish, so I stay in and splay out on Kennedy's hammock. Hope for a shot of cards for presidency. Bars about my never-ending residency in Pleasantville whenever terrorists threatening me. Grab a hold of the horns of the bombs just to see how long for a detour into letters with E. See enlightenment, extravagance, exotic expense, and excitement, exaggeration, erotic the end. Entertainment, elevation, escalation in men. Scratch manly endeavors, a family with sweaters. Ran a tree as a me, I'm like a standing impera. On easy street, searching for a mannequin terror. To bump my position, to abandon forever. I'll behold what I can see and I'll do what I can to mock my old life like parody programs. And zealous who were carried, slow jams to the end. If we let him, Matt rebelliously stood up and ran. I woke this morning feeling strange, not stalling. Pillow quite thorny, but I laid zoning. Blank face, a heavenly grace. The day floating right by, serenity growing in the dark. An extremity going in to start work. The morning woodchuck sport yearning for more. Stood up for him. Poor fuck, he's a hard head and it hurts. He never has a home to keep pleasant and warm. But damn it, I'm happy just for the sole fact the alarms say mouth shut, rust painting my soul black. Every day it rains, snores into my hearing. I stay wet with weariness, the rest concealing. The red digests my savor, the rhyme book. I lay here, consider what had happened if I took a step out of bed and looked the red face a laser pointed death straight in the eye. He shout, time's up, so I didn't go near it. I laid slipping my spirit a little more time to stay to float nice and free down the banks of my dreams. I lean towards the back of my pillow and breathe that forms ice. I stalk 7 alleys to buy lice, ridden hats to shield my head from the breeze. It's been and yes, the other men would chip in. I spit into the wind and then send a disease. Fuck you to the lack of spite for broke homeless minds like mine with whom to roam streets, to leave a set of footprints over the frost blacktop. Send a message to the fucking upper class jack-offs. Stock plans for hire, lock hands with executives, smile and fuck each other over for $3,000. Seize land, carry a rake to scrape weeds off, carry the deeds to make G's off the fam, and sleep in their suites with dreams of such. Damn, I reach to the ceiling to see if I can touch. No, and it fills my heart with hope. Shucks that I've miles to go to even give it a brush. I dust off my pillow and let my head lay. I'd run and build forts in the forest as a child, nothing to change except the woods got much wider. The alarm clock buzzed and I smiled.
After the coffee, the cake, after the coffee and cake, stroll past my garden waving a hand, and may I wave back a nod, shrug out a smile, belly flop into igneous rock, and pumps Tucidius waterlogged cock lumps and throats like the collars of collie fishes polishing silver dollars on aquatic Birkenstocks and hollering about school politics. School politics, the morning rises with me, it follows me to shower, steaming in the dark and smoky, both the bath and the kitchen. Coffee starts to tremble in the kettle, shaking rattle, break through the silence with a shriek. Weekly morning light descends upon the dewy grass pale. When I look into the glass, there I am, the whole and not the parts apart together, sculpted like Adonis and with the darkness as my hue. Now, sitting I observe the leaf spinning on the water, the bath to which birds retreat, ruled by but a single leaf spinning on the surface. Spinning is its purpose. All too soon, the birds descend and chirp and cut the silence, and then the sun decides to come and burst reflections into violence. Then the subtle morning turf is dug away with words, and then the coffee mug is but an empty shell of brownish curds. Then the leaf, it flutters off and falls away and off and lands and turns to dirt, and I shed a tear and mourn, an empty cup of drunken peace thrown against the floor, and sure as that it will be back. The early morning quiet is broken like a shattered glass. I will march myself down to the valley of the dead. I will stand against the walls, hands on my head. I will wait, and I will wait for them to take me away. I will feel them going through me, bullets and raid. And when the reaper comes, checking a pocket watch, idling his fingers on the blade, I'll tell him I was brought to this station, but walked to this wall by my volition and ignited the flames. I'm embarrassed, ashamed, perturbed and annoyed. The last conversation we had was a buoy. It sank, and it wasn't supposed to. Oh boy, it sank, and the boat was destroyed. We rowed it out far into the fog. The paddle, it rippled and slipped. It fell from the socket and sank to the bottom, into the bottomless pit. We floated along and we spoke. We floated along in the lake. I nod off a while, and every so often you make like the rain and you break, and you leave me alone on the pond to piddle in circles. I'm using my hand, trying to make it to land, trying to make it to land. I guess it's the wind, I guess it's the sea, I guess it's the way that the world had to be. That space in the boat looked empty to me. I shouted my way through the fog. I grimaced and pulled back and slapped my face, soaked, crying when waving a trash bag poncho, wailing goodbye to the rain. I know it and knew it, and always I did. It would never be as good as the docks, and softly with nobody else left to kid, we drifted off into the rocks.
Cold, cold, cold. It's a cold evening. Cold, cold, cold. It's a cold spring cold, cold, cold. It's a cold winter. Cold, cold, cold. It's a cold century. Cold, cold, cold. It's a cold Calliope. Cold, 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 cold. Oh, 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 cold. It's so cold that the flashlights are shining in the distance and you can see them from a mile away. It's so cold that the ice gets into your eyes and everything looks like it's refracted through rainbows and crystals because the shit is melting all over your eyebrows, and then the icicles come down, and suddenly, if you had bad visions, you can see clearly because the ice is just so perfect that why shouldn't it be so perfect as to give you perfect vision? Well, hell, that is what it will do if you ask it to. Or is it? Well, I don't know. But anyway, I don't know how else to put it. Ice is the only thing that you make with pudding. And then you call it ice cream because it's chocolate. But there's also white pudding, which would turn into vanilla. Would you call it vanilla pudding or vanilla bean? Sometimes the
Here it is. 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 Yo. I'm driving to McDonald's to get the $1 fish sandwich. What was it? $2 last week? What was it? $3 the week before? What is it? $1? Nope, it's 99 cents. Nope, it's $1.07 or $1.06. I don't know about the taxes. What does the sales tax cost in New Jersey? What does the sales tax cost? What is it worth to me when I eat this fish sandwich when it's flooded with mercury? What is this fish sandwich gonna do? Is it gonna make my temperature rise when it's 72 out? What is my gonna rise to? What is my whole temperature gonna rise to? 95.2 degrees? What is that? Too cold for me? What is that? Why is it so hot when it's 95 degrees out? Isn't the temperature inside of me? Ow, -3, ow, 95. What is that? Ow, when I feel the, what is that? When I feel the coils on the stovetop. What is that? Ow, what is that? Oh, I can't even mention it. Oh, I can't even say it without pausing song and taking my hand out of my mouth and taking my pen out of my rhyme, saying it like the last time that I'm like blind and I can finally see. Why do I keep buying this fish sandwich when the fish can't breathe in the ocean? Because this sandwich is probably made of the same plastic that ironically washes up like collars on catfish. Why do they say it's not meat or it's poultry? Don't chickens feel the same air that I breathe? Fish make us feel like this is a vegetarian dish. Vegan means no milk either. But what does that mean? I bought this fish sandwich now, waiting for them to take this fish sandwich out into the parking lot because they were not at the drive-through window. Someone was there, but my sandwich was not there. But I hope it doesn't have butt hair in the buns. And I thought it was on the dollar menu, but it was not. It was $4 and I had a $16 charge, but I didn't have the heart to cancel the order, so I got 4 goddamn fish sandwiches for $16. No fries or a drink either. God, I wanna holler, but I'll eat 'em. I'll eat 2 of 'em and still be hungry for a couple goddamn little fries, which I didn't get. McDonald's takes time, 'cause I'm still waiting outside. But I'm happy that they are not listening to me rapping this song. But I'm conditioned to think that this tastes good, but I'll taste it for real this time. I apologize for the wait. Oh, that's okay, thank you. Okay, you too, have a great day. You too. And that was someone coming to the window with that Indo in the bag. Indo is the code word. Nintendo is the code word for what goes through my mouth for 5 minutes and makes my health lower. But I'll just eat another mushroom, eat another metaphorical mushroom, meditate until the dust blooms. This is what's called the drive and freestyle, when you're getting the street riled up by the tires and you're smiling with the rhymes that you're piling up. And then the birds fly higher above you, but they sort of dip down in front of you and they say, hey, slow down, hey. And the ducks are sitting on the side of the freeway. Oh, and that bird just picked up a little mouse in its mouth and now it's flying above. Superman turnstiles to the sky, flying above telephone lines. Ducks are walking towards the car and they're making those foreign movements with their necks and they're shoving their beaks all in the skies. And the beaks are all dry, but they're spraying out the water as they fly around in the puddles. And why does this town try to muddle its duck population? Why don't they just go back to the nation of the ducks, the lakes of the nations of the ducks and the swans and the ponds and the whatever the cluck is the matter with the wildlife here? They're just trying to survive and trying to interact with us because we love the ducks and we love the birds. And have you heard the word? The bird is the word. Have you heard the word? The bird is the word. Have you heard that? Bird flying over the houses, flying down around like the planes above it. The birds fly high, but the planes fly higher and higher and higher and go up into space. And why does it take 60 years to make that space race apply to that Lady Gaga face? 'Cause Lady Gaga's going to space, yo. Make a happy face, yo. She's gonna. Okay. Step right up, ladies and gentlemen. Whatever sometimes happens to lightning bugs, I saw them on the field, walking back into cyberspace out of hundreds of years of life outside the paparazzi of childhood fireflies. 2 or 3 flashes lying in the grass. Where have firefly collections gone? Then we used to catch them and announce them or watch them escape, coming down like mushroom clouds pricked with oxygen, deflated, falling over my flattened desert landscapes. Atmosphere bleeds away, leaving only bruised skin around my ribs. Your sleeping bodies on comfortable beds hurtle towards tomorrow, walk back to boarded houses and stop traffic lights, executive board meetings and locked towers, and one must wait outside, drawing keys in the dirt with elemental warmth and humanity. Our sky lightens and messiahs clutching dank baggies huddle somewhere miles out across the desert, whether by bike or on foot, in exercise pants with melted golden locks. The housewives come to dance this morning, biking, running, settles ablaze. Husband's gone today, whatever could you do or say without the man's permission? Much ado and nothing stopping, much ado and nothing dropping. Children incubated, scrambled eggs, something stops his fellow groan. but gownless, home but townless as of yet. Give him grades today, degrees tomorrow, jobs in the afternoon. Promise someday soon those BPMs come beeping back with heart rates through the roof. Underneath their finances secure, she'll power walk through the door. I'm boring because I'm a locked door. Knock hard, knock harder, knock hard, enter. Why do you want to leave? Kidding, but still the suggestion. Skip every fourth step because you have to. 21 dusty footprints divided by 4 equals something surreal. Every wall hath been blackened, which equals lovely conversation. Danielewski inspired? Maybe I don't have the furniture either. 2, my house largely depends on empty floor space. Homeless writers never beauty sleep. Instead we walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and walk and walk all night, all night, all night, all night, all night, all every night long. 3, walk until it means nothing. Was that line written before? Probably and certainly with better pay. Writing suicide notes until they pay me, or until I stop lying, or my visitors arrive with that underwear, whichever comes first. 4, cut me open, slip my organs into little jars. They will be of better use individually. My opening statement: I am not going to remember your names. And they laughed. Glass bottles clinked against their sense of better judgment. We left the room and entered another, before of course detouring through slashing metal doors and paying another fee. Alcohol before we entered another room, which matched our heat for thirst and matched it yet again for density. This collection of doorways greets the Saturday march and huddles thee along with thy compatriots, where 7 stand in a room and 7 knock themselves, and 17 await to make their party 25, and the 25 descend underneath the carbonation, popping bubbles with their tongues, swimming south for winter, caught dead like Titanic passengers floating inches from the ceiling, but slowly coming down and making contact with their camera phones. Gather at the counter, we pour out bowls of milk, catnip, and rye, which they wrestle for and scratch about, shadow boxing every wind-up mouse. We dance backwards on the carpet, stop, release, stop, release. The furry wind-up cars or mice or money make constructive runs towards the doors we sleep behind and work behind, and tease, close away and open for the claws, and close away again and open till the kittens swipe away until meow. Always then the wood retracts, they follow us to sleeping racks and curl beside playful slumber falls. Metamorphosis occurs and kitten tongue convey the young, never mind the furs. Ultimately everybody purrs. Rinsed in astonishment, oscillations of shape streaked by genius seasons of hot wind and cold light, burning through endless cycles of night. Iridescent waves blame beaches for complacency with their vivid crashes playfully into sand. Around the sun in a purple fistful, and night descends upon love like a carbon crystal. When flight is stripped from the lungs and a parted mist fall from the fighter jet, shift from the gas and garden district. With the hands of a taxman gripped on a gas can, strapped to the bank in his other hand, and a last stand button strung to the gear shift on a madman's Cadillac, strung together with playing cards, fighting to break light bulbs. Were I to stop at the French coffee shop in my chest for a spiked latte, would I self-destruct? Only if the latte's wood tones had me standing at McDonald's ordering hash browns to start the day, and I'd start to say, isn't it funny how we're here but we're not? I was just telling Ernest that he's really not F. Scott, but it doesn't really matter, cause he's got that ocean in his typewriter, and the next time he feels the beach house pulled tighter, he should keel those keys till the coffee pot runs full with salt water, and maybe write about the next man in the sea, maybe a young man, who knows, who's next? And I told him that, I told the staff at McDonald's at lunchtime, where I tried to as I held my heart like the last time I held a report card. Can't you see it, Mom? It's high honors. Does that mean I won't have to get a job? I wanna be a writer, cause that sounds less silly than artist, and less tough to do alone in a room and act like I held the hand of my ego's true love too tight, until what felt attached to me backed off and said, you've got soul, and that's a shitty way to keep feet steady. Is $2 and quarters enough for 4 hash browns? I tried to tell him as I sat down and continued with my Hemingway story. Guys, I got this cafe in my heart, they sell booze, and if you really listen to the rater, he'll bring a big refrigerator to your table and proceed to make you cappuccino, Irish cheering your square-capped peers at graduation straight back down the stage, with the steering wheel pierced by leering eyes, casually choke-holding their post-class courses is like actively fearing cold cereal expiration dates. My guilty past, so the back break shopping bag stuffed with impulse purchases so heavy that I can't say hi when you pass. My plastic handles are about to snap. How does depression start? Ask again, my first and last reply was suppressed by the answer. Don't say that, they'll hate that, hate that. How was my day? Suppress the cancer and wipe the skies gray. Better than black, right? Come on, hey Casper, let's act right. No negative talk, let's act bright. How was my day? Fine. Conversation flatline. Yeah. Nothing bites and excites quite like the truth, and nothing bores as readily bad as polite. Say shucks instead of fuck. Small talk laughter. Start the graduation party after commencement. Wanna see a trick? Watch the wall, the flower print. I'll sink into the plaster like a silent film actor. Into a dialogue card, insert line. What can I say this time? The slapstick is my only weapon against the tragic. The backslip, my only tactic. To waft it, I cover myself like cat shit. Escape the room when you sense me. Stinky, uncouth, unfriendly. Scoop myself gone underneath the fresh step. Face flushed, nothing but a stench to wrestle with. I can't even write good rhymes anymore. Give me a strong rope, a ticket to Texas. Sunglasses, spray paint, sock drawers, green cottons, hidden packs, $40. Chili dogs, big gulps, pot smoke, bombs ready, walls ready. Rainbows, paint bombs, eggshells, green blues, red bricks, silver subway doors, quick stop, hockey sticks. Donald Trump Hotel, doormats, presto, God's return. 4 white lines, check marked, ready-made scissors, cardboard, panels. What about love? Preparation, deep study, mad science wrecked, Renaissance books, dog-eared Mayans, Adam's fingernails, God's paws, storefronts, open the doors, disrupt grace, grab lunch, urban buffet table, cheese bread, spike punch, rattling flasks, juice, and the guests drunk. Discount catering, stale food, chipped plates, wake up, smogged overpass, bright paint. Handle the hard news, snore the facts, crunch numbers. Sandals and junk food, night cruise, bunched wonders, blacktop sunsets, chalk roses, civil engineers, cloud hoppers, free love, wonder years. What about love? What about love? What about? What about love? What about love? What about love? Yeah. Guitar case, caskets, green carnations, honey-soaked throat space, mud-soaked amp couch, dust jacket, notebooks, radio head covers, crackling sidewalk, Vic vacations, warm crowds, sleek crunch, shuffle chorus, loose strung power chords, callous sing along, jingle bells, C notes, stockings, G notes, snowflakes, bro thanks, botch numbers, doo-wop, scat, comebacks, cracked omelets, nothing pays well without love, rich sonnets, twitch, pluck, blackberry harvest, smooth chorus, helps those big bad wolves breathe between grandmothers, sing your body is a wonderland, then speak walrus, green mollusks, rhythm cooks through hard shells, cold days, sizzled park bench, hearts melt, orchestra with everything on it, car horn sample tracks, coughs, drum beats, spare change, hi-hats, music that stumbles forth, invisible Spanish rhythms, cowboys drunk, groggy bartenders, beautiful banshees and sweaty shoulder space boy, long hair, spread lips, sad microphones. What about love? What about love? What about love? What about love? What about? We roll like the crumpled and bald news streets, boulevards, avenues, blessing the whole damn beach. Wet cement, 8-track, stop signs don't speak, bicycle, kicking, dry chains, ride rain, puddles and sunshine, fly forth, flat wheels, wall jump, muffle the punchlines, climb fence, skip down steps, back flips, dodge, slope pokes, cartwheels, hopscotch, flower store hoses, Cardle hardware store, cats, bark, dog, chatter, gas station, popcorn, coffee at Jiffy Lube, dueling languages approach, harmonize, ducks crouch beneath wooden swan boats, coffee like nightfall, cloudy daybreak, big boy cigarettes underneath big bridges, sudden burst, white blood cell lightning, exhausted church bells blowing through trees, bloody heartbeats. What about love? What about love? What about? What about love? 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 What about?
Fish's Marina Diner. Who wouldn't love the Velveeta and the grilled cheese
With the fish and chips plus, we got your tartar sauce, baby. We got your steak and potatoes, baby. We got your coffee, all decaffeinated if you like it without the caffeine. But if you like the caffeine and the pep in your step, then, well, hell, we will send it to your table. And we'll say, yes, sir, we do. We got some apple pie for you, and that's a damn good cherry pie, 'cause if you're Agent Cooper and you stepped in my light, I will say we've got your coffee black as the moon on a moonless night. There is nothing that you can eat that you can quite eat better than here. There is nothing that we won't do for you, baby, you. What do you want? You want some fries with your burger and you want it medium well. Well, if we can have a smoke break, then we'll give you hell on a plate. Baby, you know that we
like to put the pickles on a plate. Baby, you know that we've got mustard and ketchup if you ain't got taste. Or if you ain't got time to develop your tongue muscles and your taste buds. Baby, take some bud and smoke it in the parking lot. And we will take you all the way to the top. The way to the place where you'll never stop. Saying, giggle, chuckle, laughter, baby. And then, after, baby, we'll take you to the motel.
As I sat at the kitchen table, plugged into the chalkboard behind me, editing stories for the magazine, and believing this real. As the crackle in the tablecloth, I fell down the well of literature, t-shirts, and gesticulating hands. I bought the shadow of Sirius for someone's birthday, but didn't attend the party. The bridge over the marina rose like 7 stories of fear, one starring the man who fell off a bridge in Connecticut and said it had to be some state. Falling off-road was followed by car crash diaries, which starred the boy who decided to ride off the sidewalk and wobble wobble. Here comes the speed at 14 miles per hour, knocking you back and forth across the pavement before a car comes by without a drunk driver, but also without a second to pause. When the 7th story crumbled beneath you, look down from steep fear, and you whistle down the bridge with the shadow that had fallen into itself between commercials. Jumble the jigsaws, cure the hours like nothing but the subtlest pig saw. Pull the red curtains between the darkest trees. Pardon me, is Lenore okay? For sure, how's Lenore? Where's the nearest waffle store? Gore's the subtlest thing your heart wore. Pieces of flair, what my squirrel must have thought, dodging through the doors and ducking back its mindless glance, lost in nothing. Squirrel, captain of the leaves, trees, and peanuts, saw our couch and living room and thought how delightful, or maybe nothing. Stares calmly as a pool of water caught on a windless day, while the way arthritic furs scramble on the porch gray before it's time for shore. But they all embrace the age with the second struggle with divorce. Plainly put, a squirrel caught its neck between the door, which swung away and suddenly came swinging back. We bought the screen so nature wouldn't seem so far away, and now the trees at least had made their visit. We put a mirror facing out to capture what we could. Maybe then our bounty had lighted on the world and rushed to find how polished surfaces could reflect nature, and now nature knew. And now your cats are catching wind and breath, purring over one another, over nebula purring, and walking slowly off through satisfied cosmic gales, dissolving mosaics, rolling inside of kaleidoscopes, roll through mosaic, shattering through glass cylinders. What is this? What is this? Echoes reverberating. I am the poet of coffee, the same as cream and sugar, caffeine, sweetness, size, and form are only posture. Have you ignored the rest? Are you the Prince of Denmark? I am the resurrected afternoon, calling out through alarm clocks. Senile afternoon of Newports, moaning springtime, winter snowflakes, autumn colors, summertime beaches, splattered like buckets of paint against blackboards. Sorry, man. Sound out storybook names and initials. Give the grass a mother's kiss. Surrender bloody gallons back into oxygen between flowers. Float across stages, curtains when speakers blur. Birth certificates ablaze. The steps consumed everything. Steps were everything. Our walk had become stepping on ice over grass. We slipped through snowflakes, meshing and melting. Air planes all day, lie back and enjoy the ride as if this were some future roller coaster through the sky. Strap in, enjoy your flight, let us drink African coffee in relative stasis, cups jittering on tray tables. We the people of cream puff ridges above melting sugar highways, smudges behind concrete walls. Our driver disappeared into the seats while checking behind them for dust or discarded newspapers. When will headlights come awake? When will blackberries bleed berry juice? Why should envelopes be spotted with insignia? Wink at the street lights, baby, wake up at 7:45. Always time to board, 8 o'clock, baby, it's always time to get up and go. Wake up, baby, when suffering speeches shrivel like raisins underneath bright, clear, open consciousness. The morning coughs and vomits sunlight on your beating chest. Wake up, some sit around outside magic doors, coffee first, smooth jazz rhythms so little men could dance across floors before we plunge into the keyhole. We can plunge now, would there be a key? Or sparkling without bounds, but the door would be open before the little men, before the door behind the convex mirror. And now my tiny friends would stumble backwards into softened drums, doors, empty elevator shafts falling through infinite irrelevant stories where mirrors become starlight galaxies and big screen TVs fly past you in rainbows through the sky, declawed and staggering off. Housebroken cats roam away through screen doors and leave us bubbling bathwaters. Afternoon sunshine floating through heaven and hell like white flags and curling around bushes in the flower bed. They all succumb to kitty litter and nothingness. Now your cats are catching wind and breath, pouring over one another over nebula purring, pouring one another over nebula purring, pouring one another over nebula purring.
There's a line of green light coming down from the traffic signals, and there is the green light telling me to go, but the line of the green light is diving right into my windshield. And is it coming through the windshield, or is it technically staying behind the windshield? Who knows? This feels real, but who knows? This could be another memory that was changed, like the color of a car in the memory of someone who witnessed to a crime, but they were really hot and sweaty that day, and they were walking away from the YMCA, and they had swum, but it was so hot outside that the car looked red, but maybe the car was more mauve, and maybe if it was to the mauve, maybe it was to the brown, and the person sat down on the bench, and they were blinking so much that the sweat was coming right into their irises, and it was like viruses to their memory. It made slave cells of their memory bank, and those cells cashed out all of the money and spent it however they pleased. So what was once a blue car became green, and plus, if they were looking through a contact lens, who's to say that their contact lens wasn't colored? And then, maybe if it was, say, blue, and the car was yellow, suddenly it became green. Well, who knows? I don't know, except that if it was a yellow car, it was probably a Volkswagen Bug or a school bus, and those two cars are very easily identifiable. But who knows? Volkswagen Bugs come in so many colors that they grow out of the Crayola box 64 times in so many different shades that you have to think of 64 rhymes to really do them justice. But what is the thing that you touch in the memory box to open the drawers and pull them all out, like Jim Carrey opening Morgan Freeman's file cabinet in Bruce Almighty? Well, alrighty then. We will take this pen and we will cross out your answer to this test, because who knows if it is correct, and this is a test about your memory, and it is your memory, and well, somebody else at the scene of the crime said that the car was blind. You couldn't even see it. What does that even mean? Well, I guess that it means that it may have been green if the building behind it was colored like a forest, and we are reminded of the paint that people could put back in the car, and suddenly it is orange. The car is orange. It was once red, or maybe it was blue or green or yellow, and seen through a blue contact lens, it became a little less mellow, and suddenly, pew, the car was the color that it was before they repainted it with the color of a buzzing bumblebee, minus the yellow, because they may have painted it black. And then, if it drives into the back of a painting about the night descending over a country plain, then it is not plain to see, because it is disguised in the darkness, and we must go far into this paintbrush stroke to even figure out the right note on the dashboard, because who say that maybe this car didn't have, well, maybe it didn't have a ticket, and maybe a police officer didn't see it. Ultimately, we wouldn't want to be the one responsible for the crime, or would we? Well, should we? Then maybe we'll just paint our cars a different color and get away with the different other things that we did. And then we will go tell our mother, and she will say, well, as long as you work through your shame, then the flame will not be ignited again, because it has burned itself out. And what color is a flame? Well, I'm out. Pout, pout.
justice sees these unenthusiastic just melt and sin to mix metaphors, so I just quilt them and leave these diamonds falling on time-spun nets. But I fall through, please come with me or stay on the page with my modifiers into Mother Goose's room. Past the fairy tales, take me, kiss her above fairgrounds like a Ferris wheel. Show and tell narrative truth means worldwide fiction in the narrowest booth. Grabbing ramen from the top shelf, I'm dirt broke, milk's gone, water's still fine though it hurts hope. I lended last energy to balancing what soon amounts to a burning flock of sheep in a petting zoo. Put 'em out now, keep on feeding them carrots' eyes, tearing while the shepherd stares and children are terrified. Ain't got the water to extinguish or sterilize the fire on the dying single file of paradise. Rolled once for 3, my campfire could be revived by the very pyre, stifling good sheep and wool could be cooled. Splashes from the bucket sitting by the stool I'm sitting on backwards. The heart of the campgrounds parted and stamped down over recent seasons by sandstorms and clouds. Sad clowns lie my mind, cheeks wet like mine, while I blow away cheap sets of throwaway pines. Rotate the focus back to the farmland. Clock ticks, each second brings another death to the flock shits, and each death brings a set of cracks in my eyes. This damn world won't hold, it's all in my mind. The band couldn't order up a song this somber. Pour hot water, wash spoons and pots to stop hunger. My soup should be done in 3. See, the boiling takes as much time as you provide heat, and not a damn thing could be done without the bubbles up popping like champagne bottles. The trash can lit on it, a flashback, a bit of it. I grab the good bad and rattle off an innocent farewell to minuscule events in the fairgrounds. New friends sharing a glance by the carousel, and old amigos stocking folders with photos to show us how far we came and who came by to know us the best, to give appraisal and step through the city with the witness resistance. Death to live delivered a misstep or 2. Act 5 saw an amateur performance of mine, but I tried to scrub off the tomatoes and recite my lines and give him heaven, leave him begging when the curtain subsides and the gray hair covers my eyes. In a few years right now I see blind skies and blue fears. Twice strong a couple months back, a python, but time travel slowed my progress. Hazy future and past, lackadaisical face to pastry. Haste could make waste, so trace away street, cut through the crap, take me to point B. I'm pretty far away, shit, how about A6? I see moments I'd have been a bit more present with, a cynical critic to my ridiculous hesitance. Vibronic, harmonic, platonic, histrionics, chasing Bonic, get Monica's out of the cottage. Honestly, Chewbacca said bionic, Megatron's the most ironic of the Sonic. Saturday Hanukkah snuffers, more phonetically correct than Monica could sputter. Williams, the next blowjob, a chronic filibuster, hydroponics, but the grill could not muster the suction. Honest, robust, and entrusted with the lungs uncrusted with the dust of the busted up Dutch and combustion. Luck wouldn't love to rub shoulders with cousin fate. Father preparation, fucked opportunity after divorcing divinity, but they still keep in touch, and damn it, now the family dinner suck. Random guest, family friend time drags on with old stories and get rich quick schemes. Then awareness pulls off his toupee and time vanishes. Monitor the clocks as they spin like radishes and pinwheels without bright colors, nothing but ice and crushed darkness. Running to the store for wine and carpet cleaning fluid. Sorry, defecation made a mess. Throwing 2 highs, the slow jams together with the rasp and the gasp and the oh man, I know man, good moaning at home man, soul's a tone man, stone man, you got the new coffee mug, shuffle the code man, nothing likes feeling awake then rolling, nothing likes eating a big fat steak then, nothing likes being stuck on the turnpike, listening to Space Jam, sweat you running a race man, brain gets wet, then you're under the embalming fluid and then it takes the shake man, everything's a drug, then what's your favorite taste then? The calming Jewish Christian plans and Buddha gods on the side of the computers. We lock in the case, man. Nothing like getting those dates, man. Cutting the breath in half, fucking the grass, man. Nothing, Mother Nature's got such a fucking big ass, man. ubiquitous like red jeeps. The sheep flock to the shred heap, and what we said then shall never sleep. What we say now shall represent the precious release, the pleasure and the pain of the same thing. Two sides inching outside the flame ring. Follow them both and they'll fall back into the fire pit. Sins are nothing but the liar's spit, drying up if you feel like you're at risk as the tires spin. Drive and then drive and then drive until the tires spin and shake themselves out on the dry cement. The rye blooms out of the dough like the lies spent at sunrise on truth. Spent up, the rye blooms out of the dough like lies spent to hire the higher climbing dialect to the gyre of the second coming. The shrine to the buyer's kin, the brandy wire to the sire shall arrive like the tired men shoveling trials at the fire of the dragon's den. Smile like the fireworks at the minefields, rising to the essence of the sentence that ends with I am and subsides with the fire that presides with the silence. Impeachable speech with full data release, standing higher than the seats in a beehive. Sentences sound like wings fluttering like typewriter clicks over the page through the honeycombs. Four-leaf clover sun dresses that sparkle and sway when the wind blows. Something releases, glimmers in the wind speak like wizards and wild beasts flurrying across mountain passes like blowing snow. Sarlacc pits open wide with scarlet memories sashaying into the gaping maws of static melodies. Hear the magic going through the stereo. Marry the pageants featuring marigolds. Telephone wire vibrations, potential subscriptions to infinite blessings gather dust in the corner of the rusted tin mailbox. Bluebirds land in the corner of the telephone wire and signal through colored lenses of vibration. Partial views through waving fauna at the edge of the road to El Dorado, the Golden Gate shimmering, finishing our crossword puzzles on the bottom of submersion tanks with goggles to perceive the fish swimming around us. Shouts of subtle perception billow out like tents on frosted mountaintop ground before the breathtaking drops. Something between toes reminds you that grass shoots through sensory output stations, seeming to switch wires, steaming buckets of crab shells that held conceptions of the bubbling brooks and clipped toenails that follow hollow batteries in the backs of catapults, throwing juices and power supplies majestically through skies like sunsets dancing with sponge cakes on paper plates corroded with sugar and full fruit baskets, juice caskets holding the doors to infinity wide open before somebody opens the buckets of Dolby.